Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and of course installing the Morimoto XB Projector LED headlights with the white daytime running light, available for the 18 and newer F150 excluding the Raptor model. You should be checking these out if you're looking for one of the best headlights in the category for the new gen F150s. This headlight here is going to completely modernize the way the front end of your truck looks, and I gotta say, the F150 off the factory line, at least the 18 and newers, are already pretty modern in themselves. This takes it just a farther step forward. This is going to give you 4 individual projector LED headlights, 2 at the top, which you see lit now for the low beam, 2 on the bottom, which will illuminate for your high beam. Each individual light is rated at 2600 raw lumens per light with a pure white color rating of 5500K. Now the pure white color rating is super bright with, again, 2600 lumens per light, which is definitely going to help you at night. Now these are not only a lot more attractive, but they're also a lot safer. These are super bright LEDs, even for the low beam, and the high beam is just blown away brighter than the factory. One of the really unique things about this particular light, aside from those 4 individual projectors, is your DRL, or daytime running light. Now this uses, as you can see, a surrounding DRL that goes from top to bottom in a pure white light as well. Now a lot of times DRLs like this, or even some halos, have somewhat of a bluish hue. This is also a pure white DRL. Now to take that even farther with its uniqueness, the top portion of that bar here, running across that top there, is actually your turn signal. So you have the turn signal at the top and the amber light reflector in the middle with an LED as well. That turn signal, however, has 2 different modes, and you have control over that with the harness on the back of the headlight. You can plug in a specific connector and you get a solid blinking turn signal that works again with turn signals and hazards, or you can unplug that harness for a sequential turn signal. Now a lot of times with headlights you either get one or the other. It's either built in or it's not. This gives you the option to plug or unplug to easily choose whether you want it solid or sequential. Now I personally really like the sequential turn signal. I think it's something I'd rock 100% of the time, but if you're someone who likes to switch it up a little bit every now and then, you have the option very easily at the back of the headlight. Now the headlight here also has a black interior housing with a clear UV resistant polycarbonate lens. Now the black interior housing mixed with a clear lens gives you the impression of a smoked headlight without hindering any of the light output. Light output here I don't think would be an issue at all, simply because of how powerful these lights are, but it is worth mentioning there that it gives you a nice stealthy look at the front end with a clear lens. Now, I will say these headlights are on the more expensive side of things when it comes to the price tag. Now, this comes in right around $1,350, making it, again, a premium tag. I will say, however, in my opinion, that price tag is justified due to the state-of-the-art LED technology in there, how unique the overall design is, and the option with the turn signals being solid or sequential. There's a lot built into this package, and of course it comes as a pair. Now, if you were to replace your factory headlights with OEM Ford 18 and newer F150 headlights, they're pretty expensive too. So if you're looking for a new upgrade, or if you're looking to replace cracked or damaged headlights, this is definitely something I would consider. Now the install for this gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. There's no splicing, no cutting, none of that nonsense. It's a direct plug and play. It may look confusing at first, but I'm gonna walk you through the whole process here to show you guys how it's done from start to finish. It'll take you about an hour, simple hand tools required. Let's get to it. Tools used in this install include an impact gun, 1/4-inch ratchet, extension, 7, 8, and 10 millimeter deep sockets, T25 Torx bit, and a panel removal tool. First step, we're going to head into our driver's side wheel well to remove the 2 bolts holding on that factory trim piece that leads underneath the headlights. So I'm going to use my 7 millimeter deep socket and my 1/4-inch ratchet. All right, do this exact same process on the other side. All right, at this point you can peel off the trim underneath the headlights on both sides. All right, and set it aside. All right, next up we have to remove our radiator shroud, which has a bunch of these plastic push pin clips all across the front, all in the back here, all around the hood latch, and around the air intake. All right, so I'm gonna use my panel removal tool here. You're just basically gonna pry up on them and pop them off. Pull up on that top portion, go underneath, and pull the both up in one piece. All right, and then we've got a few more on the insides. If they come apart like that, you can just pop it back in and then lift up on the bottom. All right, now you can lift up the radiator shroud and set it aside. All right, so now we're taking off our factory grill. You'll have 4 10mm bolts. You already got 2 of them out of the way. You want to tackle this guy here on the corner, this guy here on the other corner, and then of course you'll have 2 more there. All right, there's 1 more corner bolt underneath the headlight holding on that factory grill. All right, now you can take your grill off and set it aside. Up top, there are a couple of clips you want to disconnect. Pinch and disconnect these harnesses. Set it aside. All right, switching over to a 10mm socket, we have a couple of bolts to remove. 2 up top and a bunch on the bottom. Let's start up top. All right, 2 down low here. One of that one there is an 8mm that we'll have to switch over to. We're gonna do all the 10s first. All right, 3 of them on the side here. All right, switching over to our 8mm, we got 1 more bolt down here. Very last step, up here at the top, we have 1 more plastic clip holding that headlight on. Switching over to our panel tool, let's get this guy up and out of the way. Next step, remove your headlight. All right. From the back, we're just gonna pinch and disconnect the 3 harnesses. All right, set your factory headlight aside. All right, so we got our factory headlight off of the passenger side of our 18 F-150 behind me, and it's on the table next to our Morimoto LED option. Now, I want to take you through some similarities and differences between the 2 kits, and I gotta say, aside from the overall shape and the OEM quality, it is a huge redesign. Now, your factory headlight you see here is very traditional in terms of the chrome interior with a lot of reflective housing elements to it. It's got a very standard way of laying out the upper and lower high and low beams along with the reflectors and the turn signals. Switching over to the Morimoto option here, it's a huge change going from that factory halogen over to our new projector style headlight. Now, it kind of looks like an alien a little bit. It's got 4 of the projectors a little bit smaller than you're used to seeing on aftermarket headlights, and they're stacked vertically. Now, what you'll see when these guys are on is that the top 2 are going to be your low beams. The bottom 2 are going to be your high beams, both extremely bright. Your factory headlights, I will say, with the 18 and newer F-150s are pretty bright and very attractive, but this guy far outshines them with a almost pure white 5K color temp when it comes to the lighting output there using their Bicuria LED lighting. Now, those have a super focused high and low beam, so you get a really good solid beam pattern with the light output. Now, that's going to be obviously a lot more attractive, but then you also get this DRL light bar that wraps around the entire perimeter of the lights top to bottom and will operate again as a DRL in a pure white accent light. Now, that comes on with your parking lights and your headlights, of course, but at the top, just this top portion of that bar is actually going to be your turn signal. Now, that turn signal in itself has a couple of different modes too, which is pretty unique to these headlights from Morimoto. Now, of course, when you have your DRL on, that'll be white, but when you flick your turn signal on, it turns to amber and has a solid blinking light. However, if you want to switch that up and take it even further, you can disconnect one of the harnesses already plugged in from the factory out of the box with the back of these headlights. When you unplug them, it turns into a sequential turn signal, blinking from the inside toward the out in a sequential pattern. Now, personally, that's my favorite feature about these headlights. I think, again, they're all really cool in terms of being really modern, a lot more attractive and unique, but having that sequence built in and an option built in that you just unplug a connector really goes a long way. And I know it's got a higher price tag, but I think some of these smaller features built in make it a little bit more worthwhile. Now, aside from that, you of course get your black interior housing. Now, the black housing also is a little bit reflective. It's not a matte black, it's more of a glossy black, as opposed to the more traditional chrome and reflective. That also has a clear lens stacked on top of it so you don't hinder any of the lighting output. Not that that would be a problem anyway because the lights are so bright. From here, we don't have to transfer any factory components over, which again is a really big bonus. You don't have to take things apart. Everything's built in, resistors are already built in so you won't get any of those quick flashing lights. It already has what it needs, so let's head over to the truck and plug them in. I'll show you guys a light test once we plug them in, and then I'll disconnect the sequential harness so it does sequence. I know that sounds counterproductive there, but I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Now the only thing we have to transfer over is the factory bottom bracket on the headlight over to the bottom of our new headlight. Now the factory headlight again was held in by 2 bolts at the top and a couple at the bottom, and this bracket is what allows the couple at the bottom to actually bolt back up. So grab a T25 Torx bit, and we're going to remove the 3 screws at the bottom and transfer them over here. All right, pop this guy off, transfer it over. Now we can insert these plastic tabs just like the factory headlight was there. We're just going to insert them into those open spots, and they should drop right back down. It's going to line up with a retainer pin there at the bottom, and we can put the factory bolts right through. All right, so now we're ready to install it. So as you can see right out of the box, we have a lot of wiring on the back of our headlights. Some of this will not be used for our application. Like a couple of these headlight harnesses here, like these two, are for LED harnesses, and we have halogen, so we're not going to use those. So what you're going to do is grab your factory harness, which has those 3 factory connectors, and find the ones that match up. All right, so these guys will go together. Click that in. This one here is loose. That will go into this one. And then finally, for the parking lights, that'll plug in over here. Now as it sits, just using these guys, you can turn your headlights on, test your lights, and make sure they work, and that'll be fine. So let's test those out and show you guys what that looks like. All right, so as you can see here, we tested our lights. We have the reflector and amber signal in the middle. Our turn signals are on here, so I can show you guys the DRL on, along with the solid turn signal bar. Our low beams are on, high beams are off. So that's what we have going on here. Now, if you wanted to program it so that it has your sequential turn signals, you're gonna pull up this guy here. It's got a purplish wire and a green wire. Now, if you disconnect this harness, it'll switch over to a sequential. And I'm leaving the turn signal on there to show you guys in real time. So you can see it then it starts blinking from inside out in a sequential pattern. Now that I think is really cool. We're gonna leave it on just like that, but if you wanted it to be solid, keep it plugged in, and it goes back to a solid flash. All right, unplug, and we'll leave it on the sequence. All right, so now we can install the headlight. All right, so we got our lights off. We're gonna reinstall our headlight. All right, grab the factory hardware and bolt it back up. Now it's worth mentioning here before we move forward that if you think that you're going to want to switch back and forth a little bit more often than not from the sequencer to the solid turn signals, you might want to bring that connector, this guy with the purple and green wires, up toward where the headlight meets the fender. That way you can tuck it in this little gap here, and you don't have to worry about uninstalling the grille and trim and headlight just to get to this on the back. This can sit right in this little crevice here, and it won't get crunched. The connector or wires won't get snipped. When the hood shuts, it's got a little place to sit there that makes your life a little bit easier. All right, so now we can bolt this back up. Now we have the 3 10mm bolts on the side. Once you have one headlight taken care of, before you put your grille and your trim back on, repeat this exact same process on the other side. All right, last step on the passenger side, put that Christmas tree plastic clip back in before you repeat on the other side. All right, so now we can put our grill back on. All right, we've got a grill bolt in each of the corners, the 8mm. All right, now you can bolt down your factory grill. All right, so now you can put our trim piece back on. All right, next up, we're gonna put our shroud back on, and for this, you have to lift up your air duct, make sure it seats underneath of that, and line it up to those holes. Grab all those plastic push pins and put them back in place. With this last guy in place, drop your hood and you're good to go. That's gonna wrap up my review and install for the Morimoto XB Projector LED headlights with the white DRL or daytime running light. It's available for all 18 and newer F150s, excluding Raptor models. Pick yours up right here at AmericanTrucks.com.